Lee faces prison. He was arrested in March after police raided his home and found 12 guns along with some marijuana and meth.
Chumlee, life in prison? That rumor hit Pawn Stars fans like a punch to the gut. Austin Lee Russell, the lovable goof from Rick Harrison's Las Vegas pawn shop, suddenly caught up in serious legal trouble? No one saw it coming. From cracking jokes on screen to facing drug and weapon charges off camera. Then came the raid. Meth, guns, and a flood of questions. What actually happened? Did Chumlee really cross the line? Or is the story more complicated than it seems? Let's break down the twists and truth behind Chumlee's fall from reality TV fame to courtroom headlines.
These niggas talking out of their neck. Don't put no coughing out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for threats. Hey, let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. Say yes, a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, I hold them sentiments symbolic. My temperament bipolar, I choose dollars.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Doc TV. And say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so that a RICO that we don't know about, that we're not talking about. Man, Pawn Stars, say it ain't so. So I'm checking this out. I don't watch Pawn Stars, but I know of them. I don't know of that guy's name, but I know the characters. I know them. And these allegations are crazy. And I just find it kind of wild that this is not an algorithm. This is not news or whatnot. This is kind of like a big deal. Let's check it out.
Complicated than it seems. Let's break down the twists and truth behind Chumlee's fall from reality TV fame to courtroom headlines. Ever wonder how Chumlee from Pawn Stars got that nickname? Here's the scoop. And yeah, it's kind of funny. Austin Russell, the guy we all know as Chumlee, was born on September 8, 1982 in Henderson, Nevada. When he was 12, a friend's dad joked that he looked like that walrus character from the old cartoon Tennessee Tuxedo. Boom. Chumlee stuck, and that's what everyone's called him ever since. But how did he end up in the pawn shop biz? Turns out he grew up best friends with Corey Harrison. If you've seen the show, you know Corey's dad is Rick Harrison, and Rick's dad, Old Man, helped open the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop back in 1989. That's the same shop where Pawn Stars takes place. Chumlee didn't just show up for TV. He actually started working there at 21, doing all kinds of stuff. Testing items, writing up sales tickets, helping customers, even loading merchandise. Basically, he was part of the crew long before the cameras rolled. Filming for Pawn Stars kicked off in July 2009. But not everything was sunshine for Chumlee. Just 2 weeks before the show aired, he lost his dad to pancreatic cancer. Tough timing, especially with such a big change in his life coming up. So yeah, behind the laughs and goofy moments, there's a real story here. A mix of luck, loss, and a nickname that somehow became iconic. Curious how Pawn Stars became a hit in the first place? Let's rewind a bit. The whole thing kicked off when a production company called Left Field Pictures pitched the idea to the History Channel. They wanted to film in Las Vegas, and not just anywhere, but inside a real family-run business, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Yep, that's the 24/7's pawn shop owned by the Harrison family.
Yo, so we're gonna fast forward. We're gonna catch up. So far, so you see that they Pawn Stars, the Harrison family, it's a family business. You know, I started this pawn shop. I had kids. I raised my kids to run this pawn shop. Passed away, and that's what they're doing. But what they doing? Let's go.
Things got pretty serious for him, and it all started with a police investigation tied to a sexual assault claim. Now here's the thing, he wasn't charged for that. But when police searched his place during the investigation, they found a whole bunch of other stuff that got him into trouble. Inside his home, cops discovered drugs, crystal meth, weed, Xanax, and signs of possible cocaine use. Not only that, but they also found a bunch of guns, and several of them weren't registered. That's when things spiraled. Chumlee got arrested, but he made bail the next day and was told to show up in court soon after. He ended up facing nearly 20 felony charges, most of them tied to drugs and illegal firearms. His lawyer, David Chesnoff, later confirmed that Chumlee took a plea deal. He admitted guilt to 2 charges, having an illegal gun, a felony, and trying to possess drugs, a gross misdemeanor. As part of the deal, he avoided jail time but had to do 3 years of probation and go through counseling. And yeah, he had to hand over the guns that weren't properly registered. He was basically told, no more screw-ups, stay clean, stay quiet, stay out of trouble. The media didn't go too deep into it, and Chumlee kept a low profile.
Man, okay, so whatever. California, New York, Texas, Arkansas, wherever you are, wherever the gun laws are, whatever the drug laws are, First of all, Chum Lee, you had it cracking. you had it cracking. You had the things. You had the pistols. You had the the recreational, the party things. But you have I don't know how many amount of drugs, but you have that many drugs, allegedly, gross misdemeanor. Okay, whatever. Slap on the wrist. It's not whatever, because depending on the person and the situation, it will be a whole different story, a completely different story. And you have guns, multiple guns, and multiple guns not registered. Let's go.
As part of the deal, he avoided jail time, but had to do 3 years of probation and go through counseling. And yeah, he had to hand over the guns that weren't properly registered. He was basically told, no more screw-ups, stay clean, stay quiet, stay out of trouble. The media didn't go too deep into it, and Chumlee kept a low profile. But because there wasn't much public info, people online started making up wild stuff. Rumors about him and getting life in prison or even dying. Total nonsense. In the end, Chumlee stuck to the plan. He stayed out of trouble, kept it clean, and most of the charges got knocked down to misdemeanors. They're still on his record, but the guy did what he had to do and moved on. It wasn't a proud chapter in his life, but it's part of his story, and he seems to have learned from it. Let's be honest. When Chumlee got arrested, it totally threw people off. Up until then, he was seen as the funny, lovable guy on Pawn Stars. Nobody expected him to be mixed up in serious legal drama. But the truth is, there was more going on behind the scenes than fans ever realized. Turns out the goofy sidekick had a wild side too. And just when things couldn't get more complicated, Rick Harrison's own mom filed a lawsuit. Yeah, seriously. That added fuel to the fire and made Chumlee's situation even messier. At that point, one more misstep could have been the end of his career. People were starting to wonder, is this the last we'll see of Chum on Pawn Stars? But here's the twist. He didn't spiral. He actually cleaned things up. Whether it was maturity, business smarts, or just learning the hard way, Chumlee managed to bounce back. And he didn't just return to the show, he leveled up. In 2017, he opened Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard, a throwback-style candy shop right next door to the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Vegas. Smart move, right? Tourists swing by the shop, grab some candy, maybe run into Chum himself. It's a win all around. The place is packed with old school goodies like Abazabas, Pez, and tons of other sweets you probably haven't seen since you were a kid.
Man, they going through this dude's whole life story, man. I mean, like, let's get to the part. Let's get it cracking. Hey, when do you go down? Like, it's crazy. It's like, I don't wish jail on nobody, but I want it even all across the board. Like, it's crazy how you paint one situation one way and then another situation a different way. Man, let's get to the goods.
It's thing in Vegas. The store's got shelves full of old school treats and quirky merch, and fans still swing by hoping to catch a glimpse of him. That said, their official Instagram's been pretty quiet lately. No new posts since October 7th last year. His last update? More on that in a future video. Bottom line, Chumlee didn't just change how he looked, he changed how he lives. And whether you're a fan of the show or just love a good comeback story, you've got to respect the hustle. If you've followed Chumlee for a while, you know there's more to him than jokes and collectibles. Back in December, he shared some sad news that really showed a different side of him. He lost his dog, Forrest.
Investigation lands one of the members of Pawn Stars in trouble. Austin Russell, better known as Chum Lee, is in jail tonight.
New at 11, owners of the pawn shop saying while they don't have details, they're here to help Chum Lee however they can. 13 Action News reporter Masa Saidi is live near Las Vegas Boulevard in Charleston with what he's accused of tonight. Masa.
Trisha, Ricky, we pulled the records and take a look. 19 drug charges and 1 weapons charge. A lot of people we spoke with here tonight say potentially they could see him being guilty of a drug charge, but sexual assault, no way.
If you need to buy something, let me know. Chum Lee's the name.
To fans of the Las Vegas-based reality show, he's Chum Lee, the unlikely breakout celebrity of Pawn Stars.
What are you laughing at?
The funny guy with over 200,000 Twitter followers. But tonight, big troubles for the man legally known as Austin Lee Russell, from TV cameras to a mugshot.
Meth? Wow. That's a shocker. It don't look like a meth user.
Meth, marijuana, and an illegal weapon. That's what Las Vegas police say they found when they raided Russell's house. TMZ snapping this shot. Detectives there to look into a sexual assault. They say Russell hasn't been charged and the investigation is ongoing. Fans filing into the pawn shop doubted his guilt there.
I don't see Chumlee doing that. I think that might be somebody out trying to get some of his porn star money.
Until they find you guilty, I support you still.
for now leaving behind a glamorous show for a stark new reality. The 33-year-old scheduled to face a judge Friday. And we stopped by his listed address tonight to try to get the full story. A man who opened the door said we had the wrong address. Reporting live, Masa Saidi, 13 Action News.
Man, so the boy still had burners. The boy still had allegedly, all allegedly, still had burners. Still had the party favors and all that. Hey, get it how you live. They have way more stuff going, man. Shout out to these channels that I clipped the video from. But check this out, man. They got way more stuff going on, and allegedly your boy might have got an L. So that's crazy. Man, you don't know what people got going on, man. What people got going on in their basement, literally. Hey, so all car edition, all work edition, after work edition, week edition. Hey, we doing it. Doc TV. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for talking back when I'm talking about the comments. Y'all take care of each other. Long live D-Mac. Long live Pooh Bear. Inglewood though.